Hey y'all, so I'm here to tell you that you need an agenda. You need one. Have you ever heard of the term or the saying that if you don't have your own plan, you will become a part of someone else's? Well, this saying couldn't be more true, and the best way to ensure that you are making room, you are making time for your own dreams and plans is to make sure every night before you go to bed, you draft out some type of, to-do list or notes about what you'd like to accomplish the next day. It doesn't have to be this, it can take many forms, but make sure you have a plan. And it doesn't have to be as concrete as listing all the things you'd like to accomplish the next day. It can be a general plan, it can be a goal, and writing down your goals and your plans is the best way to ensure that you actually get it done, right? Like, to get things done. And we have to remember that in this world where exploitation and people taking advantage of, vulnerable groups of people, we have to remember that we can make ourselves less vulnerable by making our own plans and sticking to them, and making sure we carve out time every single day to actualize them. And for all of you people who have a really soft heart and tend to put others first, trust me, I was one of those people, and by nature that's how I tend to be. Just remember that everyone is not as kind and benevolent as you are. Not everyone is coming into your life with pure intentions. Plenty of people come into other people's lives planning to use them, to exploit them, to take advantage of them. So when you have your own plan, when you have your own agenda, you are less susceptible of getting caught up into someone else's scheme, getting caught up into someone else's plot, getting caught up into someone else's agenda, and being used for a purpose that you didn't set out for yourself. And it's really sad to see that so many people get caught up in someone else's trouble and drama and nonsense simply because they didn't have their own plan, simply because they didn't have their own agenda for themselves. In general, like, they didn't have an agenda or a plan for their lives in general, any goals that they were working towards, and and because they didn't have any plans for that day, right? When you have your own agenda and your own plans, it's really hard to get caught up in someone else's, because you're working towards your own thing, you're working towards your own goals. And we have to remember that if we don't put ourselves first, how can someone else will? If we're not making time for our dreams, if we're not making time for the things we'd like to manifest in our lives, how can we ever expect them to appear? It's just a pipe dream if we don't take the time to plan out things, to write things down, to have our own agendas. Yeah, and I just want to talk about that. Let me know what you think. This is something that I have learned later in life. I wish I knew this years beforehand, and I would be much further along, where I want to be right now, if I had understood the power of having your own agenda and your own plan, and how it makes you less vulnerable to getting caught up in something you don't want anything to do with, whether that be getting caught up in someone else's drama, or being at a job that you hate. It gives you power, it makes you less vulnerable, and it empowers you to be in a position of independence. When you set out things, when you organize, when you figure out what you want to do and doggedly pursue that, there's not much that anyone else can do to stop you, and there's not much anyone else can do to use you in their own plan, to actualize their own dreams, right? So yeah, as always, please subscribe and leave a comment and have a conversation with me. I always enjoy that. And it was really good talking to you guys again. So I'll see you later. Bye.